Alright guys, we're going to do some Photoshop today. First thing we're going to do is remove background and do some eBay images. So I have this very small card right here. A couple things you can do. Right, first we want to select this object, and to select that, anybody that's used Photoshop knows that there's quite a selection of selection tools. But for something like this that has a pretty decent contrast, I'm going to go with something I don't use super often, but the quick selection tool. So we're going to go ahead and click that, and we're going to start selecting our object. And you can see where this is starting the selection, right? And then we can keep holding the mouse button and dragging, right? And that's going to keep selecting more of our object right here, okay? And we'll do a couple different ways through this tutorial. Okay. Alright, so we have everything pretty well selected there. And there's a couple here in the middle that we're going to want to address. Right, you see this one? That didn't take. We got to get that edge right there. And we got this key right here. We got this guy right here. We click those, and we're all selected. Now, the only thing that I will change is, here's a little trick. So every now and then you need to make your selection a little bit bigger, right? Just so it looks natural and so you can capture the shadow a lot of times too. So what you can do is go up to select and modify and expand. And then you can add, like, we'll see what 4 pixels looks like. All right, so you see I just expanded out a little bit, and we'll do it again. We're going to expand it by 8. Okay, so that gave a nice little border there. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we need to invert this selection, meaning we need to select everything but this network card. So we're going to do Control, Shift, and I, and that just inverted it. And you can see up here where we have that selection line now. And if we scroll out by hitting Control 0 and hitting delete, we'll see it's all gone. And then don't forget to deselect it with Control D. Alright, so that is one method right there, and that was using the quick selection tool. Alright, so the next one we're going to do is we'll use the magnetic lasso. Alright, so let's go in a little bit and hold down over here, and we're going to move from polygonal lasso to magnetic lasso, and we're going to just trace around the object. And you can also adjust this so it is more precise or less precise depending on the need. And if I also like doing this on the iPad too, and using the pencil, it's a little bit easier to control, and you don't have like those up there. That kind of got away from me a little bit, but this one is good to go. So we're going to do the same thing. We need to invert the selection, because if we just hit delete. When you see this too, you need to unlock your layer, right? So I just tried to hit delete, and I had this dialog box pop up. Just go over here to where my head is and unlock the layer. Now, if I didn't invert the selection, this is what would happen when I hit delete. The part that we want would be gone. Right, so we want to invert the selection, and the shortcut is on a PC, Control Shift I. On a Mac, I believe it's Command Shift I, and then you can always also go up here and hit inverse. It'll do the same thing. All right, that's done. Hit delete. Control D to deselect it, and let's drag this over onto the other image. We put them both here, and you can drag down a guideline, right, if you want to really be precise, and that way you can make them equal size, right? So I'm going to adjust the smaller one, and I want to get I want to transform it, so Control T, and that'll give us our bounding box here. And a couple things to note here. if you want to preserve the aspect ratio, which this is preserving the aspect ratio here, or if you want to skew it a little bit, you would hold shift, and that's when you can do all that mess. Okay? But to preserve it, you want to just click and drag. And then we're going to move this up a little bit to hit that, and we're going to go to the edge until we see that curved double arrow, and we'll tilt it a little bit. All right, and then we'll go there, and then we'll go select this other one. Let's adjust the color right there. So we're going to image. We can do auto tone too. Let's auto adjust, image, auto contrast, image, auto color. All right, so that's just needs a little bit of brightness. So let's go back up to adjust, and we'll go to exposure. Move this out of the way, and we'll just increase it just a hair to get a little bit white and a little bit more yellow, so those match. All right, and we'll bring it up a little bit, and I just make really minor adjustments here, but we're gonna get that bright white so it pops a little bit more. We'll hit OK. We'll do the same thing over on this one. Exposure, and let's just go up a little bit and offset a little bit. And you can really go all the way to the extreme to get a better feel for what these do, but we're just making minor adjustments. All right, hit OK. Crop it, and then this one is ready to go. We'll hit the crops here on the left. Let's drag this down. Okay, and let's bring this up. Okay. Now, next video is going to be adding your metadata to the image.